We are live with the 35th episode of the PiP Podcast. As always, I am Jacob, and I am here with my good friend Khalid.
How's it going?
Uh, is there anything you want to start off with?
I'll let you kick it off.
Alright. I suppose I can indulge this request. So I have to turn down the audio for myself. Let's see here. Alright. So there has been a leaked trailer for Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
I have. Our resident Soulsborne fan told me about it, and then I watched it, which looks pretty cool. Has a really, of course, the Dark Souls vibe, but also what's it called? Assassin's Creed in some aspect
Yeah,
vibe too.
indeed. I watched it, and then I immediately sent it to Cody, and he was like, "Oh, believe me, I have already watched it 1,000 times." And I was like, "All right, I was just making sure, cause he didn't tell me anything about it, bro." It looks cool, but I want to see like the trailer when they release it
Yeah.
instead of like the blurry leaked one.
Mm-hmm. I
Also,
would have to say though, the person with their camera control was actually pretty impressive because they've then moved away from their computer. This really nice, smooth. I'm like, okay, so at least they weren't shaking all over the place.
indeed, this is true. Um, but Skyrim is getting a board game. It is
Interesting.
coming to you on every platform imaginable.
A board game,
Yes.
huh? So it'd be a virtual board game.
No. Not a virtual one.
So what platform are you talking about then?
Just uh just like it's a crowd-funded board game. I mean, you can play it on Tabletop Simulator, but you can play
Hmm.
pretty much any board game with Tabletop Simulator.
Weird.
And I was referring to the fact that it's being like re-put on like every console in like remastered on the computer.
Yeah.
Apparently, it is a cooperative adventure across Skyrim for 1 to 4 players. And there will be a preview for it on Tabletop Simulator.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I was just interested in the fact you said it, and then Tabletop Simulator, and then it will actually be on Tabletop Simulator as its preview.
Yep.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I scrolled down and I saw that. I was like, well, I mean, that's a good way to do it because it's crowd-funded to get
Yeah.
people to test it and be like, yeah, we actually do want that. Then E3, I'm pretty sure is canceled this year. Like even like the digital one,
I wonder why.
because Sony left E3 to host its own
Mm.
event. And I'm pretty sure, according to this article, Ubisoft and Bethesda are now also doing it independently. So there's a good chance people are just going to start, or companies are just going to announce it on their own. And E3 will be more of like an indie game kind of thing.
Which probably would be better for it, just because they still carry that E3 clout and helps kind of push indie games to the forefront versus waiting for Bethesda to disappoint or to hype you up and then disappoint. That actually might be good for them. I know like Disney did that with Comic Con. Like I think they'll be in Comic Con every once in a while, but they also do their own thing, the D3 or D23,
Hmm.
and that's kind of the same monster where they've pulled away just so they can show off their stuff their way.
Um, yeah. So he's according to this, there's a chance that if things don't come together this year, we just won't see E3 return. Is what they're
Okay.
saying. But it says they're working on 2022 and 2023 license, according
Hmm.
to a board document. There's not even 2021. Well, I guess if you were going to be E3 2021, you would have already gotten in. I'm sure there's some, like, you have to do that pretty early on. Um, we also have some Dragon Age 4 news.
Okay.
It's reportedly going to ditch its live service, and features will be single player only. Um, Apparently, it was going to be structured like Destiny 2 at first, where like you have to be online and there's going to be elements that constantly show that you are with other people. But now it's just nope, single player again. Which I kinda like for Dragon Age personally.
Yeah, I mean, like that was one of my big issues with certain games, especially I'd say mid PlayStation 4, where they're like, "Oh, you have to be online to play the games." Like, well, what happens if my online server or basically my internet connection is down? It's a stormy night, and I just want to play a game by myself. Oh no, got to be online for this game, even if you're doing single player campaigns. Like, Bloodborne, not Bloodborne. Battleborn was like that.
Mm.
It's like, why do I need to be online if I'm literally just doing my own thing?
But that is my last bit of news for it. Other than the Pokemon Sinnoh remake was announced, and everyone is either really happy or really mad about it for some reason.
And this is the prequel, new one coming out,
The
or is this the?
prequel, it's just a remake.
Okay, so this
Um,
is the one that's going to still be top down and
yeah,
polished.
they're just like chibi versioning it, like the
Yes,
Zelda game that came out maybe last year.
exactly. Why are they upset?
Okay, because some people are dumb.
Very great.
Um, but no, some people are just angry at that prequel game, in my opinion, for no reason. Because if you grew up with Pokemon, that's literally the game that you always wanted, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Where you
It's what
run
I've been
around,
preaching for years. Yeah.
you run around in the wild, and you catch Pokemon like the wild way, in a way, like how you see them do it in the show.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very good game, and they from what Josh has told me, because I haven't kept up with it, I just
Hmm.
know they were announced and I saw the trailers. He's like looking at all this stuff. He's like, yeah, people are saying the frame rate's bad. I'm like, what do you expect? I'm like, it's not going to be perfect in a trailer. That's probably a cinematic for the most part that they just like piece together to show people before it's actually done.
It's very funny about that. Um, like the frame rate, because it's like as long as my game's not lagging and I'm not missing things, the frame rate it plays the lowest on my thing. As long as it's not this weird broken up thing. It's like there is an age where it's just like remember when it's like, oh my gosh, this is 720. It's the pinnacle of HD. And then they're like everything else is trash. And then when there's like what was that 1090, people like, oh
1080.
Yeah,
close.
well,
And
there will be
then,
a 10 to 90 cents, so don't worry about it. Oh, it's so amazing. Oh, it's like there will be just a time where it's just it will cap off. It's like it just is, but it's very interesting of like the concepts of them pushing for certain things. Like again, I can understand if it's really hurting your enjoyment of the game. It's like take Into the Spider Verse, which is actually running at a lower frame rate on purpose to make it look like animation, like claymation, than what it usually is. And it's been proven within the Miles Morales Spider-Man that they put it back to that lower frame rate. And it's just like it's doable if done right. I mean, so frame rates aren't going to be the biggest issue. If that's the hardest thing, the hardest criticism, then the game's just going to be perfectly fine.
because it's like, they say it's bad frame rate, but I'm pretty sure they're saying it's running at like 30 FPS.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Mario ran at 30 FPS on the Switch, unless you had
Hmm.
it docked. So, I mean, it's not like that really matters.
Yeah,
Like, I
unnoticeable.
can see some games it mattering, like Call of Duty. Like,
Exactly.
if you're playing Call of Duty and you're playing 30 FPS still, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You're not, like, if you're rage quitting, you know why. Even with Rocket League, there's that moment like when I got my monitor and it's 144 hertz, so I can see 144 like FPS on my monitor. As soon as I got it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a whole new world of competitive gameplay." Pokemon's not competitive. Like it
Hmm.
is, but it's turn-based when it is. And I doubt this game will be that. Like it will be like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If it does, then it would probably be some sort of combat system like Pokemon Tekken or whatever. Do you know
Yeah.
what that is?
Of course.
Okay. I didn't play it a lot, but I know people at one of the card shops did down in North
Yeah.
Carolina. So,
No Pokin, which is almost a very unfortunate name.
um, I'm excited for that Pokemon game, especially seeing the like old Pokeballs for it. How you have to like turn the thing to
Yeah.
actually open it. I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah. Saying like let's see, when Final Fantasy 11 came out, that's when I was just like, yes, it's time for them to make a Pokemon game. That's like this. You can see it and go, nah, I'm not really in the mood for that nonsense of fighting whatever that is. You can just move along. Um, People were just like asking about the dodge roll, like why is there a dodge? It's like, oh, it's because hopefully, when instead of those like NPCs run straight at you, and if they get to you, you can't get out of the battle. This is made to do barrel rolls out of the way and keep running, so you don't have to do fights you don't want to.
Yeah. Well, there is one last thing that I saw that I don't. We didn't touch on the last PiP, but Anthem, the
Mm.
development for it is officially canceled.
Okay.
So they've now said that it's not good. Uh,
Well,
I think it had promise. It looked really fun. It was really hard to run uh, on any computer in the beta. Like, oh my god, Noah. When Noah was running it on his old computer, his computer couldn't do anything but Anthem. Like he couldn't even use Discord. Like he would be talking on Discord for 5 minutes and then Discord would cut off, and he couldn't
wow.
even Alt Tab to turn it back on. Well, that was before it came out, so I kind of wanted to get back into it because it looked cool and the mechanics were cool in the beta, but Guess I can't.
Give it time. I feel like someone's gonna make a weird, um, like Anthem homage game.
I can see that. Oh wow. Fry's Electronics is shutting down. I don't know if you know who they are.
Don't think so.
They're what's that other one? The big electronics store. Do
Like Best Buy, and then there's Fry's.
Fry's is similar to it, but these are bigger than Best Buy kind of thing.
Okay.
Like these have like shelves of like computer components.
Okay. These have shelves. Wait, what?
In statement.
Fancy. That's a fancy place.
No, like you could go in there and they probably have any PC part you were looking for. Whereas like you can go to Best Buy and get like
You just get,
keyboards and graphics cards and stuff. But yeah. So all the remaining stores are shutting down with that. Big sad.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Now, I
you
wonder
would
what they're
like
gonna
to
do.
lead into?
Yeah, but I was like, with just ending with Fry's, I wondered, are they going to do like a giant, like just liquidation sale?
Ooh. Now I'm gonna have to
Is there?
look up where one is.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like, look at Fry's. It's like, man, I bought all these things that I probably will never use in a computer, but I got them. Let's see. So I'll dance
By the way,
in
real quick, my laptop just finished its update.
That's funny.
Alright.
Way to go, laptop. So game news. Amazon is giving away 5 video games that are worth more than $80 for all their Prime members.
Oh wow. Do you know what games they are?
So none are like spectacular except for really one. Well, I mean, again, maybe it's your choice, but okay, that's not true. I will say so. There's Bomber Crew Deluxe Edition. There's Boomerang Foo, which is a hilarious party game, which I think is awesome. It's just cutesy food hitting each other with boomerangs. That's actually a really cool game. Tengami, Blasphemous, which that's the one that's really awesome. Soulsborne platformer, and then Skydrift.
They sound interesting. I like the titles do. I don't think I've seen them personally.
Because I mean, I'll look at Bomber Crew, but I feel like it's just that you have to drop something adorable or packages onto locations. Tengami has a very Okami feel to it, but like Japanese pop up, um, like Asian kind of aesthetic. Skydrift just feels like a racing game with biplanes or just kind of old planes, and then Blasphemous again. Really good lore. Like Blasphemous, just reading the lore of Blasphemous or just watching the cutscenes. There's some really crazy stuff in that one. But also, they have it where it's. I think some SNK games are also free, so you can look into people who like the Fatal Fury and King of Fighting and Pulse Star and Samurai Showdown, like those kind of things. So, something to look into if you're looking for a game.
I might. I googled it. Someone said that they do not plan on liquidating any of it. So maybe they already have like another company that's gonna
actually buy it. Huh. I wonder if it's gonna be Newegg. I don't know.
Oh, I can see that.
Um, that's, well, see, I wonder about that. Are they gonna? So their where? See, I wonder are they gonna do like their distribution warehouse will keep it, but their brick and mortars though. Um, Working for a Vitamin World, that was the thing. Like they were closing stores, and so they were selling out a bunch of the stock at discounts. And then when Papa owners were like, yeah, maybe not, but um, other locations have done it before. They'll give away what they can, and then certain items like clearance items that they know that will just take up store space, they're just like toss it.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's always good just to see, regardless what what fry locations there are, and then just kind of go from there.
The
'Cause,
closest
yeah,
one is like a few states over.
oh my god!
And it,
Never mind.
like, when I clicked on it in Google
Get left.
Maps, it was like permanently closed.
Ah,
And I
so they
was
already
like,
got it.
okay. Yeah, they probably, like, fast got rid of everything.
Hmm.
Anyway, continue. Continue.
No, that's about it for it then. It's very interesting those games. Let's see what they might be. Um, but I will jump over to some like Marvel news just because I am still watching WandaVision. It's very interesting to see the reception of that show. 'Cause you do
Hmm.
have the people who are like, "Oh, it's really slow," but 3 episodes in, slow, and the thing picks. No, wait, yeah, 3 episodes in, pick up. The fourth one is ridiculous. Like, there's always stuff happening that's not just oh, this is basic like old timey sitcoms. So it wasn't just a slow, boring show. Things were happening where you're like, what's going on? I mean, like, if some people, these people watch like X Files episodes, then they would enjoy this just the same. I don't know, but um, they're finally releasing some of their spoiler merch for WandaVision. It looks pretty cool.
Spoiler?
There was a was that?
Spoiler, as in, like, the shirts just whatever, just give away what happens.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the shirts and then Funko Pops and figures.
Mm.
They have them where these are like large spoilers for the show, but um, things that these are now like, are you a fan of the comic books? These are what's happened. So it's kind of funny, just like Mysterio in Home, all right, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Mm.
Uh, no one who's ever picked up a Spider-Man comic book or seen a Spider-Man cartoon was surprised about Mysterio. It was like, come on.
Yeah, I wasn't even surprised about Mysterio. And like, I have very little in the comic books and cartoons, but I
Mm,
know Mysterio bad because I played a few Spider-Man games.
all right, yeah.
So,
So yeah, but it's um so yeah, so that's sitting in that concept that it's just like I was like the only disappointment was them mentioning the multiverse and not doing anything with it. Like granted, yay, Mysterio's whatever, but it's like set that aside, any other hint of the multiverse existing would have made me go, okay. Like don't tease me. Because right now you still have to make up for well, basically Infinity War and Endgame. The trailers were so misleading. It's just like this is technically just false advertising, like literally false advertising by now. Um, but I feel like that's going to be a new thing for trailers, is that they're going to purposely just not show or show something that's not even in the movie just to do it. And it's very funny. If you ever have you ever watched Wreck It Ralph, or even like Breaks the Internet, or seen a trailer for it?
nope.
So in the trailer, there's this little girl who's playing a little mobile app game in the back of the car, and it's you have to like feed a bunny like different like food,
Yeah.
and in the trailer, Ralph invades her video game and then starts helping this bunny eat, and then the bunny is like implied that it explodes, and the little girl starts screaming her lungs out. And it's a really funny scene, and so in the movie, you don't see that scene, and you're just kind of like, wasn't that trailer in the trailer? And all of a sudden, the complete scene is little girls in the back seat going, "Mommy, why do movies show things in trailers, but they don't show them in the movies?" Like, just throw shade on all the people that do that, and then it's the scene from the trailer. It's like, okay, all right, hey, that's pretty. I don't know how I feel about this. I
I kind of
the
like
was
it
it
though.
truth spoken on the tongue of babes, whatever. It's like, wow, dang, okay. I respect the crap out of that one. And then the other, like, just marvelous news is that there's like set photos of Camilla Khan, aka Miss Marvel.
Hmm.
Do you know who that character is?
No, it took me a
So
second to
she,
think.
well, that's fine. She's a Pakistani American Muslim who is also an Inhuman. So a Terrigen Mist bomb, won't go into too much nerd territory. I mean, we are nerds, but going into too much detail of it. But Terrigen Mist explodes. Terrigen Mist awakens certain genes of sleeping individuals who are Inhumans. So when it does, it unlocks their power. She finds out in the crazy way that she's a mutant, or not mutant, sorry, an Inhuman. And then, but she's also a big, like, nerd of superheroes. And so then she has to try to balance that, school, and also living in a semi-traditional, like, Muslim family or household.
Hmm.
So, and just trying to, like, then the thing is, like, the parents are kind of like, we know that you're lying about something, and that kind of that idea of, like, well, boys are a no-no, and just her just kind of trying to, like, how can I explain that I punch people with my stretchy big hands and so forth. Um, so we'll see. But yeah, but it's basically just the video itself is just a stunt, or one of the crew are helping um, either the stunt person or the actress onto the awning or second roof of the house. And of course, she's hooked up, and it kind of shows off the costume, which doesn't look anything like the comic book per se, like what she usually wears. But again, when she first became a superhero, she was like changing into other superheroes to look like them versus her own unique style. Um, so we'll see how that goes. And just to show some love, yeah, like, not too much craziness coming on the DC side of the house. Zack Snyder, Justice League is dropping. Um, DC is going to reveal a new Flash. Um,
Static Shock.
Static Shock, yes. Well, I mean, he's back into the forefront. There's going to be a young adult book graphic novel of Nubia.
Hmm.
Um, and so Nubia is a character back, like, created back in the 70s. She's Wonder Woman's twin sister. She's black. And there's a time where they were, like, basically, like, kind of enemies. And so now she's just, I mean, it's been so long. So now she has her own, like, book for young adults coming out, which should be interesting.
Hmm.
But yeah, not really too much news on that side of the DC house. So what you got?
Hmm. Well, I do have something funny that happened in Daisy the other day.
Hmm.
It's not really news, but I thought it was funny. So I'm walking down the street in Daisy, and I'm on a different server. Well, I'm not playing with Josh because sometimes I just get on to mess around,
Hmm.
and I don't want to get on the same server that Josh is on playing with me because that just means that I like leave him behind. So I was goofing off, and I'm walking down the street, right? And it's silence. I don't hear a thing. And then all of a sudden, there's just a guy behind me. Literally, like, he just goes, "Hey, hey, hey, you." I'm like, I turn around. I'm like, "Oh my god, who are you?" He's like, "I came from the tree line. Do you want me to show you something cool?" And I'm just like, Immediately, like, the alarm bells are going off in my head. Like, he's probably gonna take me to the tree line and shoot me. And I wasn't far off. So like, I'm like, sure, because he has stuff I don't. So it's like, if I walk away, he's gonna shoot me. So might as well have some fun with it, you know.
Yeah.
So I follow him to the tree line. We walk like 5 minutes deeper into the tree line, and there's like it's it's like a wood shed, almost like you would use for like hunting kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I go inside, and he has four other guys in the shed, like tied up and just sitting in the shed. He's like, "Here, choose one." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Choose one." I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I pointed to one, and he shot him.
Oh,
And then he was like, "Now you get to take their place." And I was like, "Okay." I knew it. This is not okay. This is not what I wanted. And that's the story of how I became a prisoner in a wooden shack. It's funny because that other guy was probably like, "Thank you for releasing me." 'Cause like I told you, I don't know if I said on the PiP, but you can, in Daisy, you can tie someone up and like force feed them and give them drinks so they don't die. So they just have to sit there. So he was probably
I
there
think
for a while.
I would like one hand grenade. Like out of like just randomly just one hand. I feel like one hand grenade can get you out of silly situations. And that would be my one hand grenade situation. Like, throw the hand grenade down. It's just like, yeah. Who knows what's gonna
Better,
happen? Might die, might survive. There's a hand grenade that changes up everything.
better yet, you hold the hand grenade in like your hand, and you hit F11, which is the suicide button.
Oh
So
no.
like you just hold it up in the air, and the guy's like, "No," because I'm pretty sure if he shoots you while you have it, because your guy like does it. So basically, as soon as you let go, it blows up, kind of thing.
Uh
I'm pretty sure if he shot you while you were in the middle of the animation, it would just blow up immediately. Daisy's pretty
yeah.
funny. What?
I enjoy watch. I remember watching it like a long time ago. The like the Let's Plays and everything of it.
Yeah.
And so the reactions were hilarious.
Yeah. Sometimes you find people that are like fun, even though they're not being nice in the game. It's just fun to see and witness, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes you just get killed a lot. It's like I would rather be with the guy that led me to the tree line, because that's a funny story,
Mm-hmm.
than to just be in the middle of the road and get shot. I do have another story very similar to that. I think, okay, so Trey, when he first got the game, he was playing with us, and Trey met a group of people, like 5 people, and Trey just became friends with them. And we're trying to find Trey, because again, he's our friend. We want to play with him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's hanging out with this other group of people. So we're like, "Hey Trey, where are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in this city. You should just come and hang out with us." And we're like, "Okay." So I'm like, "This is cool. We have a group of people now." Me, so if it was Trey, me and Noah get there, because this is before Matt had it, I think. Me and Noah get there, and we walk in the house, and all of a sudden everyone draws their gun on us, and is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And we're like, "We're friends with Fat Jesus," and they're like, "Oh, you are?" We're like, "Yes." They're like, "Okay, well that means you get to live, but that also means you get the cage because he made us mad 5 minutes ago." And we were like, Trey, why didn't you tell us you got put in the cage? He's like, because I wanted you guys to come save me. So now we're just all in this cage. And I forget what it was. I'm pretty sure like we tried to escape a couple of times because you can break out of the ropes like on occasion. But whenever we would get out, we would then have to like pick the lock or whatever, or wait for them to unlock it and try and rush, and we just couldn't until they all just killed us. But it was fun times.
Now, I saw that Dungeons and Dragons officially has its villain for the movie.
Really?
Yeah, so they cast Hugh Grant as the villain. I don't know if you know who Grant is, but he was basically British leading man in romance comedies, 90s, 2000s. Like, just type in that and you probably will bring up Hugh Grant. He is in a weird crime drama. I think it's with Nicole Kidman called, I think, Unraveled. Unsomething. Let me see that. It might be
I'm looking.
Yes. Nope. Not it.
Nope. What?
I'm trying to figure out what that.
I thought I saw an article the other day saying this movie was like postponed, but it must have been a joke article.
I mean, there's a good chance they have they can still cast, but they've postponed when they're going to start shooting it. I mean, again, COVID and then the variants would probably do that.
Yeah, but I can't find the article anymore, so I have a feeling it might have gotten like taken down or something. But I know I saw it, and I was gonna mention it, but then I was like, oh, no one I'm hanging out with right now cares. Okay, I'll wait until college.
It's called The Undoing, is what it is.
The Undoing.
I think that right there might be a rabbit hole, so I won't go too deep.
Please don't. You have
Oh,
too
it's
many
not.
of
Oh, yeah, that's true. I will spend 6 hours and realize that I originally looked up medieval cookbook, and by the time I'm done, bless you all the time. By the time I realized 6 hours in, I'm like, oh wait, I have no clue where I am right now. That's very.
Baldur's Gate finally added their new druid class.
I saw. Yes.
Is it time that we get back into Baldur's Gate next few days?
Yeah, because everything's been wiped, right?
Yeah, so we can start off as a druid.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe less animals will get killed, like baby owlbears and dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I might even just live stream it in general to Twitch while we do it. Because, I mean, you can pretty much just watch it through the Twitch live stream, or I could just stream it through Discord. It depends on if there's an echo or not, but either way. I'm trying to find the patch notes for it, but for some reason I can't find them. Maybe it's... Ooh. I think I already read the patch notes. Josh has played it. I don't know if he's told you. yet.
Oh, the new not the updated version. No, it's not.
Oh, he said the UI is much cleaner. Um,
Hmm.
so Druid characters will be able to use Wild Shape ability to transform into a variety of different animals, each of which has their own unique abilities. Dire Wolf, Deep Wrath, Aberrant Shape, Polar Bear forms. Polar Bear forms offer a new heavy attack option in combat, while Cat, Raven, Spider, and Badger provide additional strategic and defensive maneuvers through stealth, flight, web spinning, and burrowing, respectively.
Hmm.
I kind of like how they did that, in a way. Um, Loaded dice, toggle for sanity, disable for purity. 'Cause-
It's very funny. I was looking up D&D, so they connected me to just a critical role. But with that being said, there's an article that pops up that goes thermal imaging cameras could play a critical role. And I'm like, in the actual game, they're talking about COVID. I'm like, I know that, but what? Oh, you're okay. It's like, why would the cast a critical role need thermal imaging? It's like, okay.
so you can tell when someone's really thinking through a plan.
When Sam starts turning super hot, he's about to be about that BS.
Um, Apparently, just overall quality of life changes as well. The the dice toggle is what speaks to me though, because of those times where you're like, "There's no way we could fail this." What do you mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, and that's the thing. Like, I can understand that's how dice happen in real life, where that one exists and that 20 exists. But there's times that my biggest like criticism was that there have been encounters that weren't necessarily hard, but they would purposely want you to go push towards a certain alignment or something. So they purposely have it where it's just like set high. Like, why is that set so high for that? But maybe that's in its own right. D&D. It's like, no, we want you to use the mind flayers. Like, I don't want to use the mind flayers.
I don't want to use the mind flares. You gotta use it. It's part of the game.
It's like, no, never do it. Um,
They have
Now,
a what?
when's the game plan to come out?
I don't know. I want them to add Dragonborns into it before it comes out, which they said everything from the player's handbook, so
No one
they're
plays.
hoping. You shut your WH mouth.
Can you name a single player that plays a Dragonborn?
Me,
Okay, that's only
Joe
one.
Manganiello.
No, that plays a dragon.
I know myself.
That's funny. You don't
And I
know
know
of any other.
Matthew.
Okay, I was about to say, like, my goodness gracious. Yes, Matthew.
We got a human. Trey's a human too, isn't he?
Yes.
We got two normies, a tiefling, and a dragonborn. And then whatever Fior is.
Human too, actually. He's a human variant.
3 normies. Wait a second.
So, wait.
4 normies.
Yeah, because Kira's also human.
Back when Larian Studios roasted Baldur's Gate players because they showed the most used character kind of thing. It was just some white dude with brown hair, human. And they're like, guys, it's a fantasy game. You have elves, tieflings, you have all this stuff, and you choose the most boring character.
To be fair, is like humans to help show their like industriousness. There were some perks to being humans. Like you get all these bonuses
Oh, I know.
across the board and human variants. I'm like, human. I'll play human.
I
I mean,
think
I'll play human. New character, not human.
I would play human only because I can min max. That is my reasoning for human. I also like when I was making Nazir, we totally were
Mhm.
just like throwing random stuff together to see what worked. Not even what worked. It was more like Dragonborn seems cool. All right, what do you want to do with this? Uh, I guess I'll be a fighter because at the time I thought Cody didn't want me to be a paladin.
Mm.
And then I was like, I'll be a fighter then. So I became a fighter. And I was like, cool. And I was like, guess I'll use two swords for funsies.
It's like to
And
be fair,
that's
he
how
wasn't
it
about
went.
it. To be
He,
fair, he was. I want to be the only paladin. So like, okay. And then our like guest player was a paladin. I'm like, wait, do you not have a problem with this? No. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What I mean? You said you wanted to be the only paladin. Now there's another paladin that you personally invited to be in the game. So go. I don't have a problem with it anymore. Okay.
bruh. Maybe that's because he was planning to go Oathbreaker. Or like
Maybe.
was fully heading towards it at that point, kind of thing.
Well, technically, he was always talking about going Oathbreaker the minute he created Artorias.
Hmm.
He always wanted to be it. Our little boy Cody always wanted to be an Oathbreaker.
I like Oathbreakers, but
Hmm.
after seeing Cody, like Artorias be one, I don't think they're that good. Like,
It's really flair. Like there are some cool stuff about it. I mean, the concepts of now darkness and pulling from, because technically he doesn't have to worship a new deity more than just pulling from the rage and infernal and so forth. But it's a cool flavor.
yeah.
Um, but in that same concept, it's like certain DMs are like, well, you got to change your class if you're gonna break your oath, and they have to just become a whole different class. It's a very cool option, but I was just like, um, I don't know, like when would I as a DM pull that out? Where it's just like, nah, I got to change your class. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess of the characters being like, I'm an oathbreaker. Kill this, kill that, kill these, kill those. Like, you know what? You're not repentant because it says if they're not repentant, then you could talk to them about breaking their, or since they're breaking the oath, they change their class altogether.
Huh.
Which is a very interesting concept of having to rewrite a character in that aspect because a, not really a paladin can go too far into becoming like a wizard. You know what I mean? Or even a warlock. I guess a hexblade maybe, an eldritch knight possibly, but.
It's funny how like paladins and warlocks can go hand in hand like so well,
Hmm.
multi-class wise. Almost as much as like a fighter and rogue kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would say, from my knowledge, cleric and fighter don't mesh too well together.
Hmm.
But I think it's better than having any spellcaster be with like a main barbarian
Yeah.
because rage, no spells kind of thing.
There's a funny thing where if you like read the Conan the Barbarian books, like the older ones,
Mm-hmm.
Conan, while yes, he has the aesthetic of a barbarian, he plays more as being a fighter and a thief. Like even to the degree where he was a pirate and a thief, and people call him a thief and so forth. But again, he has that brutish strength, but that brutish strength can also be found in fighters. Like he does have a rage in him, but he's not really. I mean, like depictions of him doing that is still like, what would a fighter do when surrounded by 16 to 100 different like unknown species of like humanoids that are trying to kill him in a subterranean dungeon? rage out and swing a sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, just not as an actual perk or ability. I think Conan's just good enough not to get constantly hit while not wearing that much. But again, there are depictions where he's wearing straight like tunics and scale mail, and so again, the concept of barbarian is more just the title versus the class.
I know for like back to Baldur's Gate, Noah
Hmm.
bought Baldur's Gate, and he still hasn't even launched the game.
Huh.
And I'm pretty sure that's because we were like, okay, we'll play tomorrow. And then he'd be like, okay, yeah, we'll play tomorrow. And then he would go hang out with other people. And we were like, fuck you, we're still playing. We're not going to wait for you. It's like, you made the plan to play. So we restarted the game. So Trey can hop in and you can. And you don't even keep your deal.
Now, is it like so? Baldur's Gate's not multiplayer, is it? It's just kind of
It is.
your okay,
It's like co op.
okay.
So, like,
I
if I
think we
start a game, I can add them to it before it starts. And they can make their
ah
own characters. Instead of choosing, like, the pre made characters that are, like, you can have as companions.
mm-hmm.
Um, which is why, like, when we restarted, we needed Noah to be there and he wasn't. But Trey also wanted to play, so we were like, we're going to play without him. It's his own fault. um, what other games have I seen any cool updates for? So I found out, I think I knew this before, but I actually looked into it. I'm pretty sure Pillars of Eternity, um, the Critical Role characters from like the first campaign are in it.
Hmm.
Do you know what Pillars of Eternity is?
I do not.
Um, it's kind of like Divinity in a way.
Okay.
Um, I have all the games, but I haven't played it yet because I want to do it on stream. It's just your typical turn-based strategy, exactly like Baldur's Gate kind of thing in
Okay.
Divinity, but apparently, came like Grog and those characters are all in it, which is interesting. Um, I don't know. That's all I have about that. I didn't
That's
know this
cool.
game was related to D&D enough for them to want them in it, but I guess any publicity is good publicity.
That is true.
Um,
No, thinking of like publicity, Tom Hanks needs to be a part of the Dungeons and Dragons movie in some way.
Tom Hanks, yes.
Yes, I've always said this. For those who don't know, Tom Hanks is in part responsible. I mean, granted, it was just a job, but him being in was it Mazes and Monsters helped with fuel the satanic panic of considered evil Dungeons and Dragons. So I mean,
Is, what is Mazes and Monsters about? Is that about the...
yes. So in I want to get this right. It's Midwest. I don't think it's Illinois. It might be Ohio. But anyways, so it's based off of a true story. Um, this college student who's had a whole lot of other issues disappears for a spell. Because what him and his friends do is they go down to like it's like utility tunnels and they'll play Dungeons and Dragons while because the utility tunnels feel like you're in a dungeon. So super atmospheric. So they play there, and then one day he like disappears, and everyone's worried about him, and he is found again. But it just fuels these notions that Dungeons and Dragons causes mental illness and um, just a bunch of weird things, and like, oh, it's like a cult. And Tom Hanks, when they made the movie, plays like the lead in this thing, and they're trapped inside this maze and whatever. Or well, so instead of Dungeons and Dragons, it's mazes of monsters, and they're trapped underground and just silliness and 80 shenanigans, whatever, of how scary it is. But yeah, the young man later on does, fortunately, take his own life. But again, they contribute that to the game, and so you have that side, and then I can't think of it. JonTron's even made made like a video about it. There's these pamphlets about how scary the game is, and then they made it into a terrible movie. But again, the more extreme religious community picked up, and then again, the satanic panic is what they are. What it was the product of it, kind of thing.
Hmm.
So I would like Tom Hanks to be in there.
Like, looking at it, I saw like I googled Tom Hanks and D&D movie. I
Yeah.
found the Mazes and Monsters, and one of the pictures reminded me of that article or news thingy. I just didn't know that there was a movie based on it. Is it a good movie?
Probably not. I didn't watch it. I mean, I found about it. Um, I found out about it. Probably years later after being into D&D, and so I was just kind of like, oh, this is what helped cause that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I would like to say that the way Artorias is just like to Melanie, the persuasion orphan, just
Mhm.
yeah, we need a roast, cause roast. Yeah, okay. Just the way
Okay.
he said it, it's just like, all right. Comes back, here's your roast, Damocles. What? We didn't need a roast. What? Well, here's a roast, and gives it to the kid. Few minutes later,
Melanie. It's
few minutes later, kid comes back. We need to go get toys. Yeah, okay. Just whereas everyone else would have been like, "Why do you need those?" He just goes with it.
yeah, pretty. Let's say a pretty decent session. I enjoyed it.
I did too. I enjoy the feast sessions.
Yeah. And still, there's a scheme in my mind to do a feast session and have caterers, like literal like wait staff, like bringing in food while we're doing it.
Ooh, how do we do that?
I
Could
don't
we
know.
just hire Josh?
No.
We can put him in like a chef hat.
Okay. No. No, like literal like caterers. I think the only thing we'd have to do, and I think in my warehouse of random things Khaled has, I'm very sure I have like plexi inserts where you can just slide papers in.
Mm-hmm.
So just in case for those who are more inclined to spillage, won't really ruin their character sheet, and greasy fingers won't be on the character sheets, and food stains and so forth.
But come on, we could get like Chick-fil-A catering, and Josh can serve it. You know, he's religious. He can serve the Lord's chicken.
The Lord's chicken. Well, I think it would be kind of cooler, like if it was like during the crossover. So
Ooh,
then Josh is at the table and not
nice.
trying to serve the Lord's chicken.
Hmm.
It would probably be better in that aspect.
That
So
would be
everyone can
cool.
enjoy.
Or
all those
even that D&D live stream we want to do.
True.
We could be bawling out on the live streams.
That would be fun. Like after I got most of my tankards DM beverage collection. I did feel like it's like, you know what? It's a feast. I have to have some bread, some chicken, and some grape juice, which is virgin wine. Non-alcoholic wine is grape juice. But I think it does add to it, I think. Because yeah, you've seen Game of Thrones, so I can only think of the mountain as not the mountain, the Hound when it comes to chicken and drink.
Yeah, yeah. The I forget what he says, but it's something like, if you say another word, I'm going to eat every chicken in this room.
Yeah,
Just
every
something like
word
that.
from your C word mouth makes me hungry and thirstier. It's a good scene. I watch it every once in a while. Just enjoy it.
I watch there's this really good edit on YouTube. I say edit, it's a channel, but they take like these really good moments and they put music behind it almost. And it's very cinematic. It's like you could have the Hound and it goes through all these moments and it's sort of telling his story throughout it. It's really good. Just showing how ruthless he is. I think there's
Yes.
one for the like Tyrion and Jaime, Jon Snow. Like a lot of them, but not all of them. I personally think, right, that this whole like this is back to D&D. I think this whole session or whole thing, talk to this Baron, negotiate, will end with us going back through the town if we don't somehow meet him at another point in time. The brim hat guy, Loeb.
Yeah. Inquisitor?
Yes, the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
I feel like if we meet him again, I don't think I can talk everyone out of fighting him. I think Nazir is going to be like, nah, I ain't going to fight you. But then, like, Damocles is like, you're going to die.
That's fine.
Well, it is 11:34.
So, we're going to do our segment, which is called What Are You Watching, Playing, Reading, Listening to? So, take it away, Wilfeld.
I am watching a lot of things. A lot of anime. Mushoku Tensei. Keeping up with that. That's like, it's hitting its like climax point, I would say. At least if this is like a single season, this is the turning point where these first 8 episodes he's been learning. I think the 9th episode there's going to be some sort of battle. I don't think he will be in it necessarily. I don't think he'll play like a huge role in the battle, but it'll be like a plot device for the story. I caught up with Kimono Jihen. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's about the main part is about this one kid who is born from like a human and a demon. But like the whole story revolves around those kids because there's multiple. There's like a kid that's like part spider demon, one that's part like frost. And they're like solving problems. It's pretty okay. I'd give it a solid C, like high C, low B tier anime. I have lost a lot of interest in Promised Neverland season 2.
Okay. Okay.
I like a lot of interest in that. Where you think I was gonna say Boruto?
Yes.
That I haven't even. I ain't even. Just no. Just no. And tomorrow I'll watch episode 9 of ReZero because that comes out tomorrow. Jujutsu Kaisen is getting good. Stone Wars, or Dr. Stone Wars is getting good. Attack on Titan's is getting good. A lot of bangers this season. And then of course I think I might catch up on the dungeon that only I can open.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch up on that. I think that's pretty much all of that. But in terms of reading, I caught up with the My Hero Academia manga, and oh boy, it's like I saw a meme the other day, and it goes with this. So, and it was just like two streets, like two separate pictures. One of a street, and everyone's like happy and stuff, and it says My Hero Academia anime, and then it's like almost that same street, but instead of it all being happy, everything's on fire and like it looks gloomy and sad, and it's like My Hero Academia manga. Because it gets darker in the manga, at least so far. Because right now, spoiler alert for the next few minutes, they're like they lost the battle. The past 2 chapters have been about Endeavor because they found out that Dabi is their son. Now the world found out, and so the heroes aren't even seen as heroes anymore. Now civilians are starting to take up and like try to protect themselves, which is causing even more chaos. Basically, once they saw that the heroes couldn't protect them anymore, they were like, crap, now we gotta try and protect ourselves.
Yeah.
They blame Endeavor for anything, and Deku's in a coma.
Oh.
The latest chapter ended with Endeavor and Hawks and everyone going to Midoriya's room, and they get to it, and one of the nurses or whatever was like, hey, don't go in there. All Might said he wanted to be alone with him. And then Hawks is like, All Might? Because in the war arc, over like the comm system, like everyone's headset, he was telling Endeavor, or Midori was telling Endeavor, that Shigaraki was going to come after him because he has One for All. And other people overheard it, and so now they're like questioning like what is One for All, because not all the heroes know. So they're like, let's go ask Midoriya what he meant by what is One for All, and the fact that All Might's there just adds more questions to it, kind of thing. The scene ends. All Might goes, I can tell by this feeling that you're talking to the previous users of One for All, and that's just the last like panel. So in the next chapter we'll probably see the previous users talking to Deku, because they were
Didn't you I feel like we were talking about that, like that there had been something that was going to happen to Deku so he can like have a longer. So like I'm not surprised about the coma, I should say. I feel like we were talking about the fact that he needed to be like unconscious and like more of a dramatic sense so he can start talking to them, kind of thing. So
oh yeah, like I'm pretty sure you and I have had conversations about it, and we both agree, and we both sort of are calling what's happening right now.
yeah.
But I know in the battle, he did pass out, because when Shigaraki touched him, because Shigaraki has All for One now, he was going to take One for All and the previous users stepped in and like Deku's mindscape or whatever and stopped him. It was like, we're not going to leave this kid's body. So fuck off. That's all with that. Music. Listen to The Dead South. I listened to some Paramore last night. Listened to Ed Sheeran. Just a bunch of like random ones. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Playing DayZ and Apex. I want to get back into Tarkov, but I'm waiting for all the tryhards to stop raiding it right now.
Because did they already do the wipe?
They did the wipe on Christmas Eve, which, like, you'd think that people would be done tryharding, but they're not.
Now, are you kind of concerned that they're going to... Because Tarkov, does it go off a leveling system?
No.
Okay, but it does go off of amassing equipment, though. So
It goes off of amassing equipment, and you mainly start off on customs, and once you get equipment, you go to other maps. So it's kind of like I'm waiting for all the good people to get off of customs and be done with their quests, so I can go and do mine. There are quests in terms of leveling. You can get a higher level of traders the more stuff you buy from them, and they give you better quests and better items you can buy, stuff like that. In terms of your character, you can level up your stats. So say I get hurt in the field multiple times and I use my med kit or whatever, my character gets better at using the med kits. And he can do it faster and more efficiently. The more my character throws a grenade, the better and more accurate he gets at it. The more your character sprints, the longer, like the more stamina he gets. Stuff like that. Even down to like loading magazines. Like your character can load magazines faster if you've done it. And it's a different stat for different magazines. So, I mean, it's all interesting, but at some point they always move on, kind of thing. I think that was it for me.
Okay. So myself, I'm still watching both WandaVision, which I was saying that I was going to skip a day or skip a thing and then just watch the other one, but it seems as if I think this week should be next week. No, this week. I'm all over the place. So this week should be, I think, the last episode of it, and supposedly a longer episode. There was a cameo in it. I know they've been talking about a cameo. I'm hopeful. I, as a comic book nerd, loved what they did. It was something that was like, I was hoping for since the introduction of a certain character. So that was cool in its own right. I'm hoping that the big cameo isn't something that has happened yet. So hopefully saved for the last episode. But yeah, just it's really good. Like there've been times where I'm like, man, I kind of want to binge watch this. So I think after it comes out, I will rewatch all the episodes back to back. And it's very funny because I always skip the credits. If for some reason something told me, it's like, hey, just go and see if there's a post credit, and I'm like, wow, there is a post credit. But I still haven't really had any want to see if there's any other post credits. I think 7 has one as well. And then, of course, the dungeon that only I can open. I've enjoyed that one.
You enjoy Mushoku Tensei.
I'm
telling you, bro, it hits all the marks that you say you like.
So I might catch that one then. I just finished up One Punch Man season 2.
Ooh, was it good?
Uh, yes, the Goru character, or Garu that they introduced, or Garo. Garo is a really cool character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's some similarities towards like how um, Saitama wants to be a hero. Um, Garo wanted to be a monster, even though he's a human. Still, he can't touch Saitama because Saitama's Saitama. But I think though the fights are really good. Like there's some, especially his fighting, like his fighting style and like his fights with people were really really cool. The way that they have a move and just his dodging and so forth, really cool character. Um, so I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Um, I'm thinking about starting to watch um, World's Strongest or History's World's Strongest Disciple Kenichi again
Ooh,
because I know there's episodes that I just didn't know existed, and then there's also an OVA as well that was like 2012, I think, is when it was released.
I
So I
feel
kind of
like
want
I
to get.
saw the OVA. I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep it to the thing, because that's the because I've tried and I try not to be like the dub versus sub snob, but there's something endearing and beautiful about the Japanese voice work in it, which makes the whole anime. And why the English one isn't bad. It just there's something taken away from it. Um, I think it's some of the charm, I should say. It's like, oh, something to take away. The Japanese, no, some of the charm is taken away from it. Yeah, and there's like little parts they'll do in it that are super funny. Um, and I think that kind of what makes it really really good. The subtlety to it. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, but something I watched is it's called Psycho Gorman,
Mm-hmm.
and it's if there's anyone who's a fan of like the Kamen Rider, or Super Sentai Power Rangers, was it Toka Tokatsu, basically the Tokatsu. It's like the Ultraman people in foam latex fighting against kaiju kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then that movie is for you. Like it's cheesy, but it's also really good, and it's just gory and it's stupid, and like the comedy is so the there's a little girl who's like the lead in there, and her acting is not, so I would say it's over the top because yeah, she's kind of bratty and so forth, but the actress performing it, like the stuff that she does, is just makes it great. And there's other like dumb subtleties in there, um, that are just like I don't know, they're phenomenal, and it does feel like just if you would take those characters and then replace them with Japanese characters, it feels like it would be a Japanese. Like this would easily be Japanese dubbed, and it'd be like okay, that makes sense. Um, yeah, it's good. And I was like, it's a movie that I was like, okay, I'll watch it, and then watched it and immediately fell in love with that just like 80s rock and roll, heavy metal, Japanese like love letter to Japanese like shows like that. So really cool. Um, then even like because they use a lot of what's the one I'm looking for? Practical effects. And yeah, man, it's definitely a while. Like I will watch that one again. Like it's now on my will watch again list. Um, I might need to sit some guys down and force them to watch it too, so they love it. But it's a good movie.
Wait, are you talking about me?
Um, sure, you can come too. No play.
No, you good.
I'm amazing, but um, so yeah, with that one, listening to getting back into some horror aspects. I did start The Witcher, but a lot of like your horror audiobooks. Um, just with the location that the players are getting to, so I'm listening to a lot more atmospheric music and so forth. Um, kind of setting the mood for it. Hopefully, if we can get the sound system fixed for the game room, then I can either
I
can
do. I have a
play it.
question about that.
Yeah.
You're off Saturday? Question mark.
Maybe. I don't remember. I'll have to check.
If you check, we can try and get that table,
Okay.
and then after that, we can stain it, and then work on the sound system before D&D, if you want to.
Okay. I have to check. I might. I can't remember. Saturdays, it's kind of a thing where I'm just like, am I off Saturday? I am. Yay! What am I gonna do?
Because I'm pretty
Go
sure
ahead.
at least last Saturday you said this one you would be off,
Maybe then.
but definitely check. Don't just assume.
Yeah, never assumed. Like, you know what? Not coming to work because I'm assuming I'm off. But we'll check. But yeah, because because I stained my first mug. Not stained it. I treated it, finished it with some Dutch or Danish. I keep saying Danish oil, and so it actually did. It does a really good job. It just brings out natural. Doesn't do anything else. And then it's like making sure that I can actually drink out of a wooden thing once it's stained. It's like, yeah, it's completely fine once dried. So, but yeah, I would like to try it now to the table. I know, like when I showed pictures of people, like, oh, there's still stickers on it. It's like, well, that's because it's
Whoa. He got kicked. Okay. Did that fix it? Hello. It did
You hear me
the
fine?
Discord thing.
What's that?
Said it did the Discord thing, saying Discord hates you.
Okay, there it is. It was really weird because it said that it was saying, "Hey, join the call," and I can hear you the whole time.
What?
It was calling me.
Yeah, okay.
It was really weird. Wait, did you actually call me?
I did.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, right now it's still calling me. Like, Odie Central is still calling me. Yeah, that's kind of strange. But yeah, but my thing is like I wasn't really big on getting. I was like, I'll remove all stickers and anything else when it's time for us to actually stain it.
Yeah.
I think that will look interesting. Or again, not stain it, finish it. And probably so it probably won't be this Saturday or the Sunday. It'd probably be next Saturday or somewhere time in the week that we actually will assemble it in the room, just because it gives it time for it
Oh yeah, no.
to dry.
I just want it over there already.
Yes, no, I agree. I agree. Um, it's just that idea where it's just like, yeah, I have this new toy, and while I have all these toys, it's just the assurance that I have it near me if I want it.
Yeah. And, you know, whenever we do get it in the room, it gives us a good idea of what else we can put in the room.
That is true. Because yeah, that big boy is going to take up some room.
A lot of room.
Yeah. But thinking about it, like I feel like it should be fine size wise. Like it should be enough where people can move in and out of the tables and chairs. And a lot of us don't really get up and keep coming back. Although you mean because I think I will try to wait almost through the whole game before taking like a restroom break and so forth. And then we have the snacks and water in the room, so
Yeah.
it usually isn't too much of a problem. But yeah, and then since I'm off, hopefully I'll do some much needed cleaning, and then check out my silicone situation to see if I can start making the coasters.
Ah,
Just don't put them in. Put them all in.
I keep forgetting about the coasters.
I do too. I do too. Every time it's kind of a thing where just like you say the table, and I run through my mind of just because how long it took for us to work it, um, I will run through my mind like what else needed to be done on it. So it's like this perfection as far as I can go, and so then I come back to go, oh wait, coasters. I think it should be fun.
really big table. And I also have another idea for the D&D room. We can talk about off cam or on, your choice. I think I've told you about it though.
All right.
Let me
Yeah,
see if I-
we can talk about that like after.
Perfect.
Keep it a secret.
And then just get to reading. I was reading a manga. Oh yeah, no, I just finished that manga. So yeah, right now I haven't picked up anything to start reading again. I did find my I Am Legend book and collection of Richard Matheson, so that is probably what's going to get read because there's some stories in there that I really really love. I Am Legend being one, but there's another one that I love it and I read it constantly. It's one of my favorite short stories. I think
Yeah.
Witch's War. It's just a really phenomenal thing. It's one that I would love to make into like a motion comic or cartoon or an audio play or not audio play, a radio drama. Some of that concept. Maybe. But yeah. And that's really all that I'm doing right now.
Um, while you were talking, I was looking through the other Beetle and Grimm's stuff. Because now that I'm holding, one of their products in my hand, it's insanely nice, bro.
Yeah. What is the material it's made out of?
I don't know. I really don't, because it didn't give me a specification at all. You'll see it Sunday.
Oh yeah, but just the anticipation and just the appreciation of what the material is kind of
I can smell it. Maybe that'll tell you.
a. Does it smell like soap?
No.
Boring. Oh. Yeah.
I would venture to say maybe pewter.
Okay. So probably brass.
Probably. Something along those lines. Because it has a copper color, but it's definitely not copper.
Oh, I thought that was supposed to be a bronze color.
Maybe it is. But it does have... It's kind of darker than it is in, like, the picture I sent you. Maybe it is bronze. I don't know, bro. Don't ask me these questions.
Or not bronze, brass.
No, it's not brass. Brass is really light compared to this. This is it's more of like a darker brown. Like I could put this on my leather notebook that I keep all my D&D items in, the one that Noah uses for his D&D notes.
Yes.
And it would almost match that color. If that gives you an idea.
A little bit.
But it is 12. Would you like for me to do an outro?
Sure. Bless you.
Alrighty, everyone. This has been the 35th episode of the PiP. If you would like to watch us again live, we live stream the PiP every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every other Friday, same time but with a guest. If you would like to watch a previous episode of the PiP, you can find that on YouTube at Oni Central or YouTube and Facebook at the PiP Podcast. And that will be it.